All right, man. So news for the run. I honestly don't even remember where I left off with news for the run of how updated y'all were on the playoffs and all of that. But anyway, the games that matter. We're going to start with the quarterfinals because Texas, they just beat Arizona State in a close matchup, 39-31. Ohio State, they smacked up Oregon. Man, they smacked Oregon, 41-21. And looking at this game, I didn't even get a chance to really watch the game because as soon as I was about to cut it on, Ohio State was already up 23 points to nothing. So I was like, okay, no point in me actually sitting here and watching the game anymore. It's over with. Then you got Penn State. They beat Boise State. Pretty solid game, but they took care of business, 31-14. And then right now, as we speak, you got Georgia playing Notre Dame. Notre Dame has the lead right now, 13-3 over Georgia. The winner of this game between Georgia and Notre Dame will go on to play Penn State. And then in the semifinals matchup, we'll be watching a Texas versus Ohio State matchup in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. And then at Penn State, Notre Dame or Georgia will be that Orange Bowl game. And that's just the final matchups before the championship game. So the 12-team format, man, I'm curious of what y'all think about it now, man, because like I said in the beginning, it's just a lot of football. It's cool. I'm glad we get a lot of football to watch, and we got a lot of football to watch. But it was also matchups that just did not matter and like that we knew were just going to be a belt-to-ass situation. Like Clemson, Texas, we knew that was going to be a belt-to-ass situation. Penn State, SMU, we knew that was a beatdown coming. Notre Dame, Indiana, like these matchups, if you will, is just a waste of time. Like it was a waste of time. And it's dope we got to watch this, dope we got to bet on it and all of that stuff. But at the same time, bro, you could have saved some of these. Ohio State, Oregon, that would have been we thought it was going to be a really good matchup, but it ended up being a blowout. Penn State, Boise State, easy road, but honestly, we shouldn't even seen a Ohio State versus Oregon because those are two elite championship teams. Both of those teams could have competed in a championship. So just weird to me how they organized it. I think we definitely see some changes after this first year and seeing the way that the committee organized the playoffs. I definitely think we'll see, one seed have an easier route than having to play an elite team in an elite school like Ohio State. So I don't know, that's just my thoughts on that. But obviously, in the NFL, this is the last week in the NFL, as I mentioned, and there's some teams like we know have guaranteed already going to the playoffs, and we'll see who that will be. Also, some of these matchups is going to be a last-minute decision, so we'll see who that's going to be too after Week 14. Or Week 18, I'm sorry. So some of the matchups you can be prepared to watch. Starting off this Saturday, you got the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens have pretty much secured a playoff spot. Win or lose this game, it's not going to matter. They have secured a playoff spot, so they'll be good either way. But I don't think they really bring the full house against the Browns, knowing that either way it goes, they're safe in the playoffs. And it's not for a number one seed in the AFC. So either way, they're going to be playing in that wild card matchup. Doesn't matter win or lose against the Cleveland Browns. However, a matchup that will have a huge say is the Cincinnati Bengals and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, this is going to be a good matchup to watch, not just because it's a division rival, but also because the Bengals have been trying to get in the playoffs. Bengals, man, they're on a huge win streak right now. I think they won 4 straight games. And so far, they're depending on other teams to lose right now. They got to hope for Miami to lose, and that will also benefit them in the long run too, of possibly getting into the playoffs. But if Miami ends up with the same record as the Bengals, the Miami Dolphins, they do have the tiebreaker over Cincinnati, just based on the best win percentage in the conference games. Because the Bengals have lost more conference games than the Miami Dolphins lost in their conference, the Dolphins would get the go-ahead to get in the playoffs. But also the Denver Broncos, they would have to win as well against the Kansas City Chiefs, which will most likely happen in order to secure their spot in the playoffs and for the Bengals to actually get in the playoffs as well. Bengals, it's rough. It's rough. I don't know if they really get into the playoffs because it's heavily reliant on if the Chiefs can beat the Denver Broncos. And obviously, we know usually the Chiefs would be able to beat the Broncos, but the Chiefs plan on resting everybody because whoever wins that last seed in the AFC, they're the team that's going to have to play the Chiefs at some point. And if I'm the Chiefs, I don't want to have to play against the Bengals at any point. I want to go against the teams I know I can beat, which is probably the Denver Broncos. So, you know, it's going to be tough there. It'll be interesting to see what happens. But that Saturday's football. Sunday, still struggling, as you can tell. But Sunday, we got the Carolina Panthers versus the Atlanta Falcons. This game doesn't really matter too much. Falcons, they got to win out. They were supposed to beat the Commanders if they wanted any shot at being in the playoffs. But since they lost against the Commanders, if they beat the Panthers, they have to hope for a Tampa Bay Buccaneers loss against the New Orleans Saints in order to possibly even get in the playoffs. But let's keep it a buck. I highly doubt the Saints is going to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. No, it's just not going to happen. And the Buccaneers are at home right now, so not going to happen. Commanders play the Cowboys. The game does not much matter. Commanders are kind of already in the playoffs. Bears play the Packers. Packers are solid right now. Texans secured. They play the Titans, Jaguars, Colts. Not really a game that matters much. Neither of these teams are going to see the playoffs. Bills, Patriots. Bills already secured. They don't have to worry about anything. Giants, Eagles. Eagles are already secured. This game is not going to matter much. Saints, Buccaneers. Buccaneers have to win this game in order to possibly make the playoffs. Because if the Falcons win, then, you know, it could be a completely different situation if the Buccaneers lose. You got the Chiefs, Broncos. This game does not matter. But the Broncos, if they win, they're in. And Chiefs, they got a bye week, first week, either way, so it doesn't matter for them. Chargers, Raiders. Chargers, I believe Chargers got to win this game here. Seahawks and Rams. It's both of them. I think the Rams have secured the playoff spot just because they won in the division the most. But this game, I don't think this game is that crucial. Jets, Dolphins, nothing to worry about there. Cardinals, 49ers, nothing to worry about there. And then the best for last, man. Excited about this. The NFL actually hit it right on the nail. They finally got it right to send us home and send us off to the playoffs and to give us a finale of the regular season. The Detroit Lions versus the Minnesota Vikings. Whoever wins is dropping down to the 5th seed. And it's crazy to think that a team with 14 wins will fall all the way to the 5th seed. But both of these teams have been on a tear. They've been killing it in their division. And the winner of this game here, this last game of the NFL regular season, will have the advantage. So they will move to the number 2 seed, and the loser will move to the number 5 seed. And most likely will be playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Tampa Bay. So it's going to get wicked. I really don't know who's going to win between the Vikings and the Lions, man. Lions are hurt right now. They are beat down. So they really need, man, they are beat down. They are beat down, so they don't need to be on the road at all going into the playoffs. But the Vikings have been just super solid defensively, offensively. We've seen Sam Darnold go crazy, and both ends of the ball have been fairly solid for the Minnesota Vikings. The game is going to be in Ford Field, so it'll be interesting to see, man. I don't know who's going to win that, but I don't really even have a hope either. I just want to watch a good football game. That's it.